Okay, what's up guys? So today in this video I'm going to show you guys how to work with piecewise functions whenever it's asking you to evaluate at certain x values, okay? So I think this is number 6 of the homework, the newest homework for piecewise functions. And let's go ahead and jump in. So let's kind of see what's going on here, okay? So let me do the screen. Oh, okay, well, whatever. So, so in this problem, it's asking us to find f of 0, f of 1, f of 5, and f of 6, right? So first thing you guys got to understand is that with um, piecewise functions can be either one of these two equations, right? It just depends what x values you're using on which one you're going to use, right? So, in other words, our function can be f of x equal to 3x minus 5, but we will only use it if this domain is satisfied, right? So only for x values between x and 5, right? I mean negative 3 and 5. So pretty much only x values that are in this domain, we will use this function, okay? Now, we have another function we could use, right? X cubed minus 5, right? And we will only use this function if our x values are between 5 and 6, right? Or equal to, right? 6. And so that's pretty much the idea. So you're only going to use this first function for these set of x values, and you're only going to use this function for these set of values, okay? If there's no x values included beyond those points, you're not going to use that function at all, okay? So, or you're not going to use either one of the functions. So let's start with f of 0. So first things first, they're asking us to evaluate our functions, or our piecewise function, at 0. So we need to figure out which function we're going to use based off what x value they gave us, right? So in this piecewise function, we need to look for which one of these two domains includes a 0, right? So for this one right here, between 5 and 6, of course we won't find 0 between 5 and 6, so we know we're not going to use this bottom one right here. But let's double check. Let's make sure that 0 is in this one. So is 0 between negative 3 and 5? Yeah, of course, right? Um, if we graph this on a number line, we know that between negative 3 and 5, 0 is going to be in there somewhere, right? So we know it's within the domain, so we will go ahead and use this first one. So let's plug in our x into this function right here. So we get this one, and when we plug in 0, we get 3 times 0 equals negative 5, which ends up giving us negative 5. Okay? And yeah, that's pretty much it. So your answer for the first one, f of 0, would be negative 5. Okay? Now let's do the next one. F of 1. So this is going to equal, let's first pick which function we're going to use, right? So where does 1 fall in between? So it's not going to fall between 5 and 6 again, right? So it's going to have to be between these two, because 1 is between negative 3 and 5. So we're going to use this function again. So 3 times 1 minus 5, that equals 3 minus 5, which is negative 2. So that would be your answer for the second one. And let's do now f of 5, which gives us... So between these two, you notice that this one has 5 in it in our domain, and so does this one, right? The big difference is, though, that this one is including our 5. This one right here does not include our 5, right? So this one's saying your domain's between 5 but not including 5, and it goes up to 6, right? So we're not including 5 in this one, but here we are including it. So you got to pay attention to these inequalities, okay? So here we're going to end up using the top one because this is the one that has our 5 in it. So we'll plug in again. So 3 times 5, minus 5. So that's going to be 15 minus 5, which gives us positive 10. Okay? And then the last one, of course, we're going to have f of 6. So this one obviously doesn't have 6 in it, so we're going to end up using this one right here. Okay, so we'll use the other function, which is going to be 6 cubed minus 5, right? And so whatever we get for 6 cubed, so 6 times 6 is going to give us 36, and then 36 times 6 again would end up giving us 216. So 216 minus 5 would give us 211. Okay? So remember, this is 6 cubed, so 6 times 6, 36, times 6 is 216, minus 5 gives us 211. Okay? And that's pretty much it. So whenever you see that they're asking you f of 0, f of 1, f of 5, f of 6, with piecewise functions, you need to first figure out which domain your x value falls into, and from there you choose your, you know which function to choose, okay? Cool. And that should pretty much be it. So yeah, I'll make another example of graphing this stuff in the next video, okay?